Welcome to the 26th annual Deck the House. I'm Natalie Leake, President and CEO of Providence House. Thank you for joining us tonight. I wish we were in person, but even with our virtual format, I think you're going to have a great evening. So thank you for bringing Deck the House to your house tonight. I'd like to start off by thanking our presenting sponsor, longtime partner and champions, the Cleveland Browns, who are hosting our event for us tonight and are such a huge part of our success and our Providence House family. Thank you, Cleveland Browns, for all of your support and being once again a part of Deck the House. I hope that you're thoroughly enjoying your party packs with charcuterie and Cleveland Browns wine. And here at Providence House tonight, while we're getting ready to kick off our auction, our children are enjoying a pizza party. So let's go downstairs and join our children as they start their party.
I didn't want that to cut my head off.
Oh, yeah.
Because when I cut my head off, that didn't pay.
Is it yummy?
I can't see.
I want to thank Romeo's Pizza for generously donating the pizza that the children enjoyed at their pizza party this evening. And Romeo's also is doing another special event for Providence House tomorrow night. So if you order pizza from Romeo's Pizza at Cam's Corner, 20% of all proceeds tomorrow night will come back to Providence House to further benefit our children. So please contact Romeo's at Cam's and enjoy a night off from cooking. Now I'm thrilled to kick things off with a dear, dear friend, Andrea Vecchio, joining us once again for Deck the House. Andrea is going to start us off by showing you some of the gorgeous trees that are available for auction tonight and tell you a little bit more about how if you get the tree, it will be delivered to your home fully decorated. Andrea?
There are so many things that I love about Deck the House every year, but one of the great traditions are the Christmas trees. They look so beautiful and they're just decorated from top to bottom. And the great part is, if you bid on one and you win, someone else has done the decorating for you. So you get to enjoy them in your own home during the Christmas and holiday season. So if you choose to bid on one of these beautiful trees, it will come to you, directly to you, thanks to our generous partner, Moving Ahead Services. They'll bring the tree to you, already decorated, to any location at no additional cost to you. So take a look at all of the options and bid on one of these gorgeous trees.
Good evening, everyone. We are Karen and Paul Dolan, and we are thrilled and honored to be the chairs of the Giving Hope for the Future campaign. Last year, we were excited to talk about the opening of the Eastside campus in the Buckeye Shaker neighborhood with 20 additional beds providing much needed service to our community. Well, a lot has happened since last December. Phase 1 of the Eastside expansion is complete. Our management team has moved into their beautiful new digs, and construction of the Eastside Crisis Nursery begins in the spring. So amazing. Our Providence House team has been working with families providing community-based services, and they're really establishing themselves as an important anchor in the neighborhood. So all really good stuff.
We are also excited to announce further development of the Providence House East Campus on Buckeye. We have purchased the property next door to our existing site and will now redevelop Buckeye Road from East 118th to East 119th Street. This newly acquired property is planned for a 3-story mixed-use community hub. It will host tenant space for partner social service agencies, local businesses, and retail workforce development storefronts. We invite you to learn more about this campaign and how you can get involved at provhouse.org/givinghope. Tonight, we hope that you will make a gift to support the hundreds of children and families that come to Providence House seeking safety, support, and a loving home-like environment each year. Annie and Joe?
Ho, ho, ho!
Thank you, Karen and Paul. For those of you who have just joined us, welcome to the 26th annual Deck the House from your house. As honorary chairs for this event, we want to thank you for joining us virtually tonight to support the babies and children of Providence House. We've been involved with Providence House for many years and are proud to support this incredible asset to our community. We're also proud to be a part of an organization like the Cleveland Browns that is so committed to our community and to places like the Providence House.
From the players on the field to the team in the front office to the dedicated members of the Browns Women's Organization, we're all invested in Cleveland and ensuring a brighter future for its children. The work of Providence House would not be possible without the community of its staff, leadership, volunteer donors, and community partners. It truly takes a village. Tonight's event raises money needed to offer free emergency shelter for babies and children at risk of abuse and neglect.
At any point this evening, you can click the Donate a Day of Care button on your bid pal. You can make a fully tax-deductible donation to the support of the babies and children at Providence House. While we wish we were all together enjoying the festive atmosphere of the City Lounge at First Energy Stadium, you can still purchase raffle tickets for our bar and wine raffle baskets, as well as buying a Providence House teddy bear.
And as always, bid often and bid high because every bid is for the babies. If you haven't settled in, grab your party pack, graciously sponsored by Electronic Merchant Systems, while we hear from our friend Andrea Vecchio.
Thanks, Annie and Joe. Well, if you are familiar with Providence House, then you know and love their mission. And if you're joining us for the first time tonight, you're in the right place. Providence House has a beautiful mission, and that is to end child abuse and to support families who are in crisis. So tonight, this is what we're going to do. We are going to support that mission, and we're going to raise some money. So I'm going to read a little bit to tell you how you can help the cause and how you can bid on some amazing auction items. There's so much to choose from, over 100 silent auction items. So you probably received an email. By the way, I'm reading my computer here off to the side, just to make sure I get this right. But you did receive an email, or maybe something was texted to you also. So you'll be able to browse and bid on all of the items that way. There are buttons on the main menu that you can use to find and bid on items by item number, by category, by viewing all the items, or by viewing items with no bids. The View My Items button enables you to keep track of items you've bid on, the ones that you're watching or the ones that you've purchased. And then the Buy Now function next to the auction items allows you to purchase the item for a predetermined price. Now, don't forget about the decorated holiday trees. You can bid on those. They'll come to your home or whatever location you want. Maybe you're going to donate or send a tree to someone else as a gift. It will be delivered at no extra cost to you, fully decorated. I love the trees. I want a tree. I might need to bid on that myself. Also, don't forget about the bears, the teddy bears. They're $20 a bear. And for every bear that's purchased, an additional one will be given to a child at Providence House. And you also have the option to donate the bear that you purchase back to Providence House. Plus, you can get your raffle tickets to win the wine or bar raffle. The raffle tickets will stay open until 8 p.m. tonight. You can also click on Donate a Day of Care to make a direct donation to Providence House. All of those sections will close at 8 p.m. tonight. Now, starting tomorrow at noon, all paid items will be available to pick up at Providence House East Campus. If you need a package shipped, shipping costs are an additional charge, and they will be the responsibility of the donor. If you win a tree, you will be contacted for a delivery address and time. There are really so many ways that you can help Providence House and the children and families who are in crisis. So just get busy bidding. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting Providence House and their mission.
Do you see the snowman? He is very, very, very cold. And he says, Sneezy the snowman is shivered. It's cold out here, that's for sure. I need a drink to warm me up, but
He got my books.
he drank a cup of hot cocoa, and it was too hot. And then right there, believe it or not,
Listen.
he melted from drinking something too hot.
Greg Rush, and I'm the chair of Providence House Board of Directors. Last year, the Young Professionals group for Providence House tried to tell you that their basket was much better than the board of directors. And I'm here to tell you this year that our wine basket is much better.
Well, it was true. Our basket was better. And I'm here to tell you that the Friends Young Professional Group yet again has the best bar basket up for raffle tonight. You won't want to miss a chance at this fantastic basket full of holiday cheer.
You see, each year, the board of directors and the Friends group have an annual competition at Deck the House to see who can raise the most money for Providence House. Well, I can tell you again this year, our wine basket is much better than the Friends Professional Group basket. Tickets for our basket are 1 for $5, 5 for $20, and this year's wine raffle basket is worth over $800. It has a variety of reds, whites, rosés, etc. for your pleasure.
Well, our dedicated group of young professionals have put together an incredible basket of liquor, beer, and more. It honestly has everything that you would need for the perfect holiday party or just to stock your at-home bar. Tickets are 1 for $5 and 5 for $20, and our raffle is valued at over $500.
And most importantly, our friendly rivalry is for a great cause, to raise money for the children and families of Providence House. So buy those tickets again, especially if they're for the wine basket. Remember, over $800 worth of wine in our basket, and enjoy the rest of the program. Back to you, Natalie.
Well, we know Clevelanders love a good rivalry, and the Providence House board and Friends group certainly are going at it again this year. I'm excited to see who wins this year's challenge. Thanks, Greg and Katie, for your support. Deck the House is one of my favorite evenings of the year. I'm always so incredibly proud to see the work of hundreds of volunteers, sponsors, auction donors, and staff come together to create an incredible experience with wonderful packages for our guests and ultimately truly help our children. This is our #1 fundraiser of the year, and remember, as we go forward tonight, every bid you make is for our babies and children. In addition to our sponsors and supporters and guests tonight, I want to offer a really special thanks to our Deck the House committee. This group of amazing volunteers, staff, professionals in the community, and most importantly, led by Kayla Webb, our external relations director, is what makes the magic tonight. They have worked diligently for months and over weekends to put this evening together for you, and we couldn't have done it without Kayla's leadership. So I'm just really honored to have you join us tonight and see the fruits of all of their labor. I also want to once again thank the Cleveland Browns, particularly Dee and Jimmy Haslam, the members of the front office, the players, and certainly Jenner Takancic and her team in community relations. Your support over the many years you've been involved with Deck the House has been incredible, and knowing that you are a part of this event with us means so much to us. So thank you again. We have a lot to celebrate this year. It is our 40th anniversary, and we have served over 13,000 children and families since our doors opened in 1981. We are so proud of that. And even prouder, this year, we were able to successfully reunite 100% of our children safely with their families following the services at Providence House. It's a true testament to the love and dedication of our staff and our volunteers and the brave and strong families that we are supporting through crisis so that they can remain with their children. Another exciting thing that happened this year was the announcement of our Destination 50 strategic plan. While our 40th anniversary is certainly a milestone to celebrate, Providence House is always innovating and pioneering, thinking of the next best thing we can do for children and families in our community. Our Destination 50 strategic plan looks out 5 and even 10 years at the goals we have for growth, continued success for our families and children, and our ability to strengthen our communities by ending child abuse and neglect and preserving healthy families. Another really exciting effort underway at Providence House is our expansion to the east side. Our West Side campus has been operating since 1981 with 30 beds on our campus currently, and we can serve about 350 children a year on our West Side site. Unfortunately, we're still turning away over 450 children that we are unable to serve because we don't have the space. This is what prompted our expansion to the east side of Cleveland. Over 70% of the children who are waitlisted or unserved each year live in near east side zip codes. And like we did in 1981, this time we're going where the children are again, into the Buckeye Shaker community to support children in those areas and surrounding neighborhoods. Our Eastside campus is already underway. Renovations of the existing building are complete, and we break ground on the new crisis nursery in the spring of 2022. We also have acquired the property next door to further build out our campus and create a haven of support in the Buckeye Shaker neighborhood with partner organizations as well as our crisis nursery services to help strengthen and stabilize families so that they can thrive. We really see this project as a part of a massive community development effort that is underway in the Buckeye Shaker neighborhood. And what we're really proud of is we see this as community development from the inside. Development that's about healthy, safe, thriving families that will enjoy all of the other amenities that will be a part of this transformation neighborhood in the future. So I hope you're as excited as we are about our Eastside expansion and our ability in the future to serve over 600 children a year between our East and West Side campuses. If you want to learn more, visit our website. Our Giving Hope to the Future campaign pages are up and current, so you can get all of the updated details. And I hope that you're able to support our growth effort and make a gift to our campaign. And now I have the honor of introducing our honorary chairs, Joe and Annie Thomas, to kick off the Cleveland Browns 2021 Ed Block Courage Award. Joe and Annie, take it away.
Thanks, Natalie. And welcome everyone to our Ed Block Courage Award ceremony. As a former NFL player, I can tell you that the Ed Block Courage Award is one of the most special awards a player can receive. This is the only award in the NFL that is decided by a player's peers. Recipients are nominated by their fellow teammates for their strength, integrity, and dedication on and off the field. For over 30 years, the Ed Block Courage Award Foundation has recognized courage among players in the NFL while helping to improve the lives of our nation's abused and at-risk children. To help make a positive impact in NFL communities throughout our country, the Ed Block Foundation began a Courage House national support network for kids. The Courage House Network is a national network of organizations committed to the prevention of child abuse and neglect in NFL cities. The Cleveland Browns were the 11th member of the Courage House Network, and Providence House has been our local Courage House since 1999. Tonight, we celebrate more than 20 years of partnership and protecting at-risk children. I'm honored to be here tonight to present one of our Cleveland Browns players with the NFL's cherished Ed Block Courage Award. The Ed Block Courage Award recipient is a Cleveland Browns player who symbolizes professionalism, great strength, and dedication. As important as his role is on the field, the Ed Block player is also a community role model. With tonight's honor, he enters an association which contrasts his fierce profession by becoming a representative of the Courage House National Support Network and a crusader for children who are victims or at risk of abuse, violence, and neglect. He joins former Cleveland Browns Ed Block Courage Awards recipients such as last year's recipient Nick Chubb, Justin Burris, and Terrence Mitchell. Tonight I'm proud to announce the 2021 Ed Block Courage Award recipient in recognition of his commitment to the Cleveland Browns, his commitment to our community, and his support for children at risk for abuse and neglect as a representative of the National Courage House Network.
I just want to say thank you to training staff, coaches, my teammates for believing in me and helping me through that tough time. I also want to thank everybody that helped me in the off season, from my family to other trainers and everybody that just helped me get over that hump. It was a tough time, and I'm excited for the future, and I'm glad to be out there with my teammates finally, and being out there means the world to me and my family. So I just want to say thank you. And, I'm excited to finish the season off right.
If you've been to Deck the House in the past, I'm sure you remember seeing hundreds of teddy bears throughout the room. The teddy bear has really come to symbolize the love, comfort, and care that's given to every single child that comes to Providence House. Every child who comes to the house is given a suitcase with a blanket, pajamas, shoes, and a teddy bear to hold. This year, for $20, you can bid on a teddy bear. And for every bear that's purchased, one will be given to Providence House for a child. And of course, you have the option to donate the bear that you purchase back to the house for the children. We want to thank our sponsor, Odie, for making this possible. Now, all you have to do is go into the fixed price items in your bid pail and start bidding.
Thank you, Andrea. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the entire board, thank you all for joining us tonight. You know, Deck the House is our largest fundraising event of the year, and while we wish we could all be together in person this evening, we are so very thankful that you have chosen to spend a part of your evening from home with us. A very special thanks to our presenting sponsor, my employer, the Cleveland Browns. You know, I've been with the Cleveland Browns now for almost 15 seasons, and I could not be more proud of the long-standing partnership between the Cleveland Browns and Providence House. We hope to see you next year at First Energy Stadium for this very exciting event back in person. We are also very grateful to all of our sponsors and donors featured in your program book. A very special thanks to our returning honorary chairs, Annie and Joe Thomas from your Cleveland Browns, and our MC, Andrea Vecchio. The Deck the House Committee, our Providence House staff, board, associate board, and volunteers for their endless hours of planning tonight's event. There's a reason we see so many familiar faces for this event year after year. It's a commitment to the mission of Providence House that unites so many people in this great community. We know that the choice for a parent or caregiver to bring their child or children to Providence House to seek support is one of the hardest decisions a parent can make. It's also one of the most compassionate and selfless decisions. Please consider making a gift that helps every parent know that their child is safe and healthy under the loving care of Providence House. And now, in addition to the Ed Block Courage Award, we have another very special award to present tonight. Here to present this award and tell you a little bit more is our External Relations Director, Kayla Webb.
The Barbara Reagan Impact Award was established in 2019 after the passing of Natalie's mother, Barb Reagan. Barb was the event chair for Deck the House for over 20 years, and her commitment to the mission of Providence House was clear to everyone who worked with her. Without her, both Deck the House and our annual luncheon would not be what they are today. This year, our recipient is our very own Natalie Leak, President and CEO of Providence House. When it comes to Natalie, the apple does not fall far from the tree. This month marks the 20th anniversary of Natalie as the President and CEO of Providence House. But Natalie's Providence House story began the year Providence House was founded in 1981. Natalie began her Providence House journey as a high school student, then as a young professional volunteer, and now as its servant leader of 20 years. In her tenure, Natalie has built a strong, sustainable organization, grown programs, expanded facilities, been a trusted advocate for children and families locally and nationally, and positioned Providence House as a national model for child abuse prevention, family preservation, and alternative solution to foster care. Throughout the last 20 years, things have not always been easy, but with the tenacity, work ethic, leadership, and commitment to the Providence House mission, Natalie has led Providence House through good times and bad, never wavering in her commitment to the mission. I am truly honored to present Natalie Leak with this year's Barbara Reagan Impact Award. We wanted to present you with the Barbara Reagan Impact Award this year.
No!
In celebration of your 20th anniversary.
I'm gonna start crying. I was just thinking about my mom today when I was getting ready, and I thought, man, I miss her so much. Oh my gosh.
We are so grateful for the past 20 years and for everything you've done for Providence House, and we thought, what better person than to celebrate and to give this award to for your long-lasting impact.
Oh, thank you so much. It means so much to me. There you go, Mom. Thank you. This is really an honor. My mom worked on Deck the House for, gosh, about all the 26 years that it's been going, and we lost her 2 years ago, and every year it feels like there's a gap in the event because we don't have Barb with us, so this really is special to me, and I've been honored to serve Providence House for 20 years of the 26 of Deck the House. So thank you.
One of the most unique and exciting parts of Deck the House each year is the exciting silent and live auctions, with hundreds of items from holiday decorations to the perfect kids' gifts to housewares to trips of a lifetime.
This year's auction features a ton of great packages, including a jersey signed by Michael Jordan, a week-long vacation to Anna Maria Island in Florida, and a guitar signed by the Rolling Stones.
Section close at 8 p.m. tonight, so make sure to keep your phones handy because you will not want to miss out on these packages.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you again for joining us this evening. We really hope you had a wonderful time, and thank you to all of our guests in the program who joined us remotely to be a part of this evening's event. I hope that you please continue to remember our children, not only tonight and through the holidays, but as we embark on 2022. Please remember, as you're bidding tonight, bid high, bid often. Every bid is for our babies and children. As you've heard, this is our largest fundraiser of the year, and Providence House is primarily funded through private donations. Your support tonight will be an incredible gift for us this holiday season.
Say goodbye.
If I could describe Providence House in one word, it would be a blessing. Because just knowing that you got somebody who cares, someone who you trust, someone listen, that's very understanding, it's just such a powerful thing for me to have had a place like that.
The mission statement on our website is Providence House protects children and supports families through crisis to strengthen communities and end child abuse and neglect. For me, the mission is really about being available for families in the community who have children and feel they have nowhere to go. The fact that 70% of our families knock on our door first tells me that this community, the families who need us and the donors who support us know that this is a place that keeps kids safe and families together.
It's named Providence because God's providence began it and has sustained it since the very beginning.
Because I was a teacher for 27 years, wherever I went, I was very aware of children. I became aware of a little boy with his mother in the store, and he was crying and crying, and she was so upset. And I thought to myself, maybe there could be a home where moms and couldn't leave the children alone at home could bring the children to this home. And so that's how Providence House was originated.
It was a very difficult and long decision to open a home for children. Why was I thinking of something else when I was enjoying so much what I was doing? We came to the conclusion that this is what I was called to do.
What she wanted to do in this little tiny house was to have a place for children to be safe.
My favorite memory was when she called and said, "Now, Jane, this is really just what we should do. You tell me what to do." And, the thing about her is she had so much confidence in me. And I'm like, am I going to be able to do this. She's like, well, of course. You know, just put it together. I'll do it. We'll do it. It'll be done. That's how it is.
One of my favorite things is when I go visit her in her apartment. She has 2 photos of children. One is the little girl that she met that really prompted her to open Providence House, and the other is the first little boy who ever lived here. Providence House, when I think back to where it was 20 years ago when I came in, is unrecognizable other than our buildings, which have also changed and grown and expanded. But it was just the 2 tiny houses on West 32nd Street. And I think the biggest shift was we were only caring for children. That's all we did, which was wonderful. It was wonderful loving care, all the same wonderful things we do for children today. But I started to ask, well, how do we know the parents really got the help they needed before we're reuniting the children? Are we doing enough intervention to make sure the children are safe after they leave us? And so, here we are now 20 years later being recognized as a program that not only keep kids safe, but we keep families together by doing intervention and parent support and case management and referral. And nationally, that really elevates us and creates quite a distinction for Providence House in the national arena, because most nurseries just watch the children. And that integration of parent support so they can be successful after we resolve the crisis and remain together is really the differentiator.
Providence House has increased all their services to the point where they're really kind of an overall family organization, as opposed to really known for treating children in need. This has changed to where the parents are so involved and provided with all sorts of services and guidance to get them to that next spot, which then allows them to really take care of their children in a way that they want to.
Serving 300 children from 150 families is a lot of work, and we do that with 6 licensed social workers. We have a nursery operations manager, and for sure we're the ones focused directly on the work with the kids and the families, but it takes so much more than just us. We have a childcare staff that is committed every day to showing up and nurturing the birth to 12-year-olds that stay with us, and then everybody from the top to the bottom showing up at Providence House with a compassionate heart is what makes this agency go. For us, the reason we serve families is to support them through crisis. And crisis is really anything that impacts the stability or safety of any member of the family. So that can look like providing services to a family who's experiencing domestic violence, if there's a mental health crisis, if there is a parent who's working but doesn't yet have daycare, if they're homeless or at risk of eviction. Those are the reasons we want to wrap our arms around families and support them. We want to make sure that they don't go into foster care if we can provide some additional support to help them get through a hard time.
The situation that caused me to come to Providence House, I had cervical cancer, and it came back and I had to have surgery, and I really didn't have anybody around me that was able to take my kids for the amount of time that I needed to recover from it. So I was recommended Providence House by another parent that had her kids in Providence House, and they were able to take my kids for the amount of time that I needed to heal from that. So I was very grateful to be able to have them assist me with that. I had a very great experience with Providence House. My kids, it took them a minute because they were so young to kind of get in the groove of not being with me, but they also let me call them every day and every night, and then plus I got to visit them after I was okay enough. So that helps too, because it was a new experience for the both of us as far as me not being around them for a good amount of time. The help that they gave me throughout that period of time, it was just so, I was blessed to have them. Like, a lot of people are blessed to have them.
What brought me to Providence House was I was pregnant with my 3rd child. As a single parent, I didn't really have many friends or family or resources. So I was actually told about Providence House through the hospital. Providence House, they have always been there when I needed them to, no matter how big or small the situation, no matter what the emergency was. My experience overall with Providence House has been positive. If there is anything I can say to the staff at Providence House is thank you. I couldn't imagine my life without Providence House. People from the outside looking in, they don't get it. Like, oh, you sent your kids to a shelter. And it's like they're family. They're not a shelter. If there is anything I can say to them, it's just thank you for always being a support. Thank you for always being there. Even the people, like the different mothers at group, they're all understanding. Everybody has been through something and everybody just kind of understands. So thank you.
So when I think about the role Providence House plays in the community, it's really important that people understand we are the only place in this entire community that a family who is facing crisis, who fears that their children may be unsafe, can bring their children voluntarily, not fear that they're going to lose their children, and really be honest about what they need and know their children are going to be safe. We have so many families that say to us, you're like family to me. I trust you more than I trust my own family. And to have that resource and community for families who are literally terrified of not only the situation they're confronting, but the fact that their children could be taken from them if they don't find a safe place for the children to go. It's a treasure in this community, and to have been that for 40 years and 10,000 children, it's a legacy that's incredible.
On my time on council, I've spent a lot of time working on issues of children's health and well-being. So for example, we worked with a large community coalition to pass landmark legislation to fight back against childhood lead paint poisoning. We've made sure to retool our recreation centers to have trauma therapy within our rec centers. The list goes on and on. Providence House is one of those critical community partners that is working on the well-being of our children and families in our community. If we can't get that right, if we can't put the resources in behind organizations like Providence House that are partnering with the city and all sorts of other organizations to ensure that our babies and our families and our children are well and healthy and in a position to where that they can go on to a healthy, prosperous life. If we can't do that, then we're missing the ball on everything. What's really been great with Providence House is to see how they focus not only on babies and children and kids, but on families as a whole, to get them to a better place, but also doing it in a way that respects the sanctity of their families and of their well-being as well. So, the organization has been an incredible model and a leader on ensuring that they do everything they can to keep families together, but that they're also directly involved on the well-being of our children.
As we expand our services, we're doing more community-based events or just being a presence in the community to make sure people know about Providence House too. So our community groups started about 2 years ago. It's called CERP, which stands for the Community Education and Resiliency Program. So the idea with this program was to expand our services into the community to reach parents or guardians before they would be in crisis or need crisis services. So the ideas with groups is to go to places where parents or guardians already are. So places like Boys and Girls Club, a kinship support agency. And the idea is really to create a group where parents and guardians feel support from each other and can talk through maybe things that they're going through. And I can do case management also, so to offer that support to parents or guardians just to kind of meet them where they're at and to alleviate maybe a crisis that could happen later on by trying to get them resources before they're in that place.
My experience with the group is 100% positive. We share as much as we can with anybody that we come in contact, and I'm just speaking with a family member the other day that said I was grateful that she told me about Fairhill Group, who then put me in contact with Providence House, and it's been nothing but 100% for us and the grandchildren.
It makes me feel comfortable because, you know, grandparents come in all ages, shapes and sizes, and so no matter what we're going through, we always have a connection. We always have someone now that we can reach out to. So to have a social group of people that we can talk to, and not just older people, but younger people too, because, you know, Miss Emily is a younger woman, but she knows how to ask the right questions to make us think about things that are not just necessarily surrounded about grandchildren, but just our everyday lifestyle and activities.
My experience with the community group is very helpful, very resourceful. Emily is great. My son was like, "That's Emily, the one that gave me a bike last year." I was like, "Yeah, that's Emily." So he got a big boy bike from Emily. I don't know if Emily knew at that time, but my son wanted a bike and I couldn't really afford one. So when she gave him one, it was kind of like right on time. So he was so happy. And so.
I think I would want the community to know that our families are brave. Our families are strong. When we report on what we do every year, it sounds like it's something that we're doing, but we're really just privileged to walk alongside families during their hard work. And I think I just want to point out how much happens on the parent side, how inspiring they are to me in my work every day, and to make sure we don't lose sight of how brave and strong they are.
The children and families that we see at Providence House, they're just in need of help. They want to be encouraged. They want someone to support them, and that's what we have the opportunity to do at Providence House, is to encourage them at the worst time, and the kids be there for them during the time that they're away from their parents, which is unthinkable.
I think one of the biggest successes for Providence House is the rate of how many families we're able to preserve and strengthen. And, you know, I think when I first got there, we had children that were going into foster care or families that weren't successful in resolving crisis. And as soon as we started stacking programs around the family and really wrapping support around them, we started to see the rates of family success and reuniting with their children increase. And, you know, over the last at least 10 years, we've never dipped below 97%. Last year was 99% of our children successfully reunited. And while our focus is family preservation, first and foremost, we're a child's advocate. So if that, you know, if reunification's 95% one year, 97% one year, we don't hold it against ourselves too hard, because we know that that was the best solution for that child to keep them safe. But fortunately, our families are so committed, they're so passionate, they want to be with their children, they want to be living healthy lives where they're thriving together as a family, and they work so hard to really get the work done they need to, knowing their children are safe with us. And it's just wonderful to see the commitment of our parents and their partnership with us, and to have parents say, you know, I feel more safe, I feel more stable, I feel like I can parent better than when I got here, is just the ultimate reward for us.
I just think the Providence House is amazing. They have been a real blessing to my family. As far as aftercare, the resources that they make sure that I have for my daughter and I, all of the staff are so great. They all make sure that they are in contact with me through text or phone call. So it's like everyone that I have been working with at the Providence House has been great. It's been such a blessing. They really have, to my home, to me, to my children. Like even my daughter, my oldest daughter, she has not stayed with them, but around Christmas they made sure she had a Christmas gift as well. They have been a true blessing.
The future vision for Providence House is changing every day. Natalie and her team continue to, you know, push outside the boundaries. People talk about working outside the box. there's no box here for Natalie. She's inventing it and creating it as they go along, and to see where this is going to go and become even more nationally and internationally known, it's just amazing. And knowing that these groups are coming to Providence House now, and Providence House is able to make an impact in so many other communities as well, is really heartwarming and special.
We're so proud and excited of the organization, from the board to the leadership team to the staff to the families who have been a part of Providence House. It's been really exciting to see the organization turn 40. So we're very proud of Providence House and the good work that they've done, serving the entire city on the west side and now with their east side footprint. But more than just the years has been the quality and impact, quite frankly, because you can be a 40-year-old organization and not be, functioning to the highest ability. But Providence House has had the quantity of 40 years, but also the quality within those 40 years of having a fundamental impact in the city of Cleveland, on our babies, on our children, and on our families, which of course translates to an impact on the future of the city.
So my hope for the future of Providence House is that our services keep growing. So the fact that we are moving towards opening twice as many beds in our crisis nursery, but also expanding community services and the community groups to more places so they can happen more often and we can reach more families, is really excited to look ahead to the future.
I think the fact that we have Natalie Leak in charge is God's biggest gift to us. She has done an incredible job, absolutely, and I thank God every single day for her. She was telling me about what's coming or what's in the, what's being done now, and it's wonderful because she knows exactly what to do for children who need care, who are in crisis, and that's what we're all about.
I've got an amazing team of staff, an amazing board, and we continue to look for the next best thing we can do for children and families. As we talked about Providence House growth, we've grown 4 times on our West Side campus in response to increasing demand. And we always had in our strategic plan the thought, how will we know when we need to grow again? And we had, triggers in the plan, waiting lists of children. And in the last 5 years, we have seen our waiting lists increase 265%. And so when we really look at where were the children that weren't served, it was on the east side of Cleveland. So we knew it was time to grow, clearly, and now we knew where we needed to go. We said, we need to come east. What do you have available? We looked at lots of properties, and the second we pulled up to our building on East 118th, I was in the car with another team member, and we looked up and we said, this is it, we found it. And so, we've been fundraising for the campaign. The building is renovated where we'll have our administrative headquarters, our family resiliency center where social workers work with community members, the ground floor, which is a community and children's space, and we're crossing our fingers that we are just about at the threshold to build the children's residential wing. So our goal is to have the facility operating for children in the crisis nursery at the end of 2022 or very early 23, depending how funding will go. And so it will be 20 children at a time, a little over 300. So between the 2 campuses, we will be serving a little over 600 children a year. And so we can't wait. It's so needed, and the community is just waiting for us to open the doors so that children can be here and be safe.
I know what is happening now. The program that is lived out each day now. I think God is very pleased with Providence House. As long as His children are loved and cared for, I think Providence House has a beautiful, beautiful future.